Welcome to Culture Screen, where we analyze culture through countdown. This episode is on the top games released for arcades in the 1990s. Number 10. Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter was released on November 28, 1993, and it was the first 3D fighting game. It was developed and published by Sega. Virtua Fighter is just like most fighting games, where two players are on screen fighting until one of their life bars is depleted. If a player is knocked outside of the ring, they lose as well. Virtua Fighter was also followed up by two sequels in the 90s, Virtua Fighter 2 and Virtua Fighter 3. Number 9. Tekken 3. Tekken 3 was released first in arcades on March 20th, 1997. It was developed and published by Namco. It's also considered one of the greatest video games of all time. Tekken 3 introduced new characters like Jin Kazama, Ling, Xiaoyu, Eddie Gordo, Brian Fury, and Horang, totaling 23 characters to choose from. Number 8. Soul Edge. Soul Edge was released in arcades on December 1995. It was developed by Project Soul and published by Namco. In the game, 9 warriors embark on a search for the Soul Edge. The Soul Edge's 9 warriors search for the 10th warrior, who they believe has the infamous sword. Some warriors wish to destroy the sword, while others want to wield it. Number 7. Captain America and the Avengers. This game was released in 1991. The game was developed and published by Data East. In the game, players can choose to play as Vision, Hawkeye, Iron Man, or Captain America. As players progress through this beat-em-up genre classic, they will encounter Red Skull, Juggernaut, Ultron, the Grim Reaper, and other villains along the way. After collecting special power-ups, players can use the Wasp, Wonder Woman, Quicksilver, and Namor the Submariner to assist in the brawls. This arcade game was released in 2 versions. One allowed for 2 players to play, the other for 4 players. Number 6. Virtua Racing. Virtua Racing was released in August of 1992. It was developed and published by Sega. What set Virtua Racing apart from other racing games that came before it were its improved scene complexity and frame rates. Virtua Racing helped popularize the 3D racing genre. The arcade machines came in 2-player seaters or 8-player seaters. Recently, Virtua Racing has received a port on the Nintendo Switch, released on April 24th, 2019. Number 5. Metal Slug. Metal Slug was released on April 19, 1996. It was developed and published by SNK. However, Metal Slug was originally created by Nazca Corporation. In Metal Slug, players constantly shoot at their oncoming enemies as they reach the end of each level. Throughout the levels, players receive numerous weapon upgrades to help defeat their enemies. Freeing prisoners of war will also produce additional items and upgrades for players. There are a total of 6 levels in the original arcade game. Number 4. The Punisher. The Punisher was released on April 22, 1993. It was developed and published by Capcom. The characters you can choose from include the Punisher and Agent Nick Fury. Players fight through the multiple levels in a beat-em-up style game as they search for the crime lord Kingpin. The game is presented as if players are working their way through a comic book. Like most other games in the side-scrolling beat-em-up genre, players can pick up weapons and items dropped by enemies and use them against them. Number 3. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs was released on February 1, 1993. It was developed and published by Capcom. Players can choose from 4 characters and up to 3 players can play at the same time on screen. When 2 or more players are playing on screen, they can conduct a team attack on their enemies. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs also had an animated series made after its video game's success. Number 2. Street Fighter II. Street Fighter II was released on March 1991. It was developed and published by Capcom. Street Fighter II is the sequel to Street Fighter, released in 1987. By 1995, the total sales for Street Fighter II had exceeded $2.3 billion in total machine sales. Street Fighter II also allowed players to conduct combo attacks that could not be blocked when timed properly. Players could also now choose from 8 characters: Ryu, Ken, E. Honda, Guile, Chun-Li, Blanca, Zangief, and Dalsim. There are 4 characters players cannot play as in Street Fighter II, including Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and M. Bison. Number 1. X-Men vs. Street Fighter. X-Men vs. Street Fighter was released on September 25, 1996. It was developed and published by Capcom. Unique to X-Men vs. Street Fighter was that it allowed dual character selection to support fighters and serve as tag team partners. Players could also switch between the 2 characters they choose as their tag team. This game was the first in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. Players could choose from a total of 17 characters. The X-Men characters available to play as included Cyclops, Gambit, Juggernaut, Magneto, Sabretooth, Storm, and Wolverine. The Street Fighter characters were Akuma, Cammy White, Charlie Nash, Chun-Li, Dalsim, Ken Masters, M. Bison, Ryu, and Zangief. We upload new videos every week, so subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. Click the notification bell to be notified of when we upload these videos. See you on the next episode of Culture Screen.